Right kids, on to question 11. This is your OCW questions. You get 2 extra marks here for your writing basically. They do not want an essay, they just want it to be clear, concise and in order. So the steps are in order, and also no basic errors in spelling and grammar. So make sure you know how to spell words like isosceles triangle and rectangle, things like that, right? They've given us a right angle triangle here, another triangle next to it, and it creates a larger triangle there, including both of them. We have a couple of sides, we have an area. Excuse me, they tell us that this line here is perpendicular, which means that's 90 degrees. That also tells us that that must be 90 degrees. And they want us to find the size of angle X, okay? So if I just covered up here, if I just had this question here and I wanted to find the size of angle X, looks to me like this is a SOHCAHTOA question. I've got a right angle triangle, including an angle. So I need to know either this side or this side. Now if I cover that bit up and just think of this triangle, because I know the area and I know its base, I can effectively work out that side there, which is the perpendicular height. Once I've got that, I can do the trig to get this letter X. So that's how we're going to solve this question. Let's do it then. So the area of ABD, that's this small triangle here, equals half times the base times the height. And they've told us that that equals 35. So let's write that out again. So 35 equals a half times the base, which is 5, times the height, which is the side BD that we are trying to find. So we can work this out by taking these times numbers over to the other side and turning them into divide numbers, right? So this side we're trying to work out BD equals 35 divided by a half divided by 5. Okay? And don't forget, this is the calculator paper, so don't be afraid to use your calculator, although I bet some of you could do it in your head. 35 divided by a half. So you can either put a half in as 0.5 or you can write it as a fraction using your fraction button like that. Divided by 5 equals 14. So that's 14 centimeters. Remember to include the units, especially on an OCW question, okay? Let's just check. How does that look? Well, if this side is 5, could this side be 14? Does that look reasonable? Yep, it does. Let's check we've done the mathematics right. Half the base times the height. Half of that is 2.5. 2.5 times that is 35. So I've done it correct. So everything's right so far. So let's label it. Let's write 14 centimeters there. And now it's effectively a basic SOHCAHTOA question where I'm finding this angle here. This is the hypotenuse, this is the adjacent, and this is the opposite side. Obviously I'm going to use the hypotenuse and the adjacent, so I can cross out the opposite. Please ignore the phone, because I am. Right, we have got, so let's write, now use trig. And because it's A and H, that is my car triangle. Let's write that out again with the numbers we have. So A, the adjacent, is 14. H, the hypotenuse, is 32. C stands for cos of the angle I'm trying to find, which is letter X. They are on top of each other, so they will be divided. And that will give me cos X. But I don't want cos X, I want X on its own. So what we need to do, we need to press that extra button, the shift button or the second F button before we press cos, and your calculator will show cos to the -1. That's what the calculator will show when you press second F cos. Then we divide the numbers and press equals, and that will give us the answer. Okay, so let's do that together. Shift, cos, brackets, 14 divided by 32, brackets, equals, and the answer is 64, and we'll round that to 0.1 degrees. Let's have a little check. Does it look like it could be about 60 degrees? Yep, that's reasonable. Even though it's not to scale, it's never going to be wildly out. So that's not bad at all. I haven't written an essay, but I've clearly stated what bit of mathematics I used each time. I've made no glaring errors. I've just got myself a full 7 marks in the bag. Job done.